What up, YouTube? It's your girl Dee. Welcome and welcome back to the channel. So I am back with another reaction video. Now this video is about Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. So lately she's been in the news and people are saying that she's been exposed for her little secret. I want to play what O'Shea Duke Jackson had to say in regards to this. Shout out to O'Shea. He posted this video about Cheyenne Bryant. I want to go ahead and play what he had to say, and I want to give my thoughts on it because several people have been speaking out about Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, Corey Holcomb. We also had Tasha K and others who have spoken out about her. So I want to play what O'Shea revealed in this video, and I want to get your thoughts on this and what you think about her success and her talking points and how she's thriving in a space about topics that may not actually reveal her particular lifestyle, allegedly. So we can go ahead and hop into the video, but before we do, make sure you are subscribed to the channel, share and like the video, and turn on your notification bell to be notified when I upload new content. I definitely want to hear your thoughts, so leave those in the comments below. Let's go ahead and get into the video. Here we go.
In the last 36 months, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant has blown up. She's literally the female dating coach or relationship counselor for women, and she does so by debate, similar to Kevin Samuels, but more or less in person. She will go to popular men's podcasts like Nick Cannon and Cam Newton and morally hold them accountable, and she's always on the offensive all the time. And she typically does this by making the host cover a lot of territory and keeping them always on the defensive, and it has worked largely with Cam Newton and Nick Cannon, both of these men who have many kids and have never been married. These clips go viral, even adding to the fame of Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. But then there was a day in which she showed up to Paul Pierce's podcast and
what do that entail for a 42-year-old?
I am dating
but single,
enjoying my life. I have really good companions.
How many are you dating right now?
I'm not exclusively committed to anyone, but I have one guy that I have dated off and on for 5 years.
Now, I remember this interview and she was kind of, taken aback a little bit. She was kind of like a little stuttering a little bit when Paul was asking her questions, because he asked some questions that the people want to know about. Look, hey, and these are typical questions that would arise when you were talking about dating and relationships. Of course, if you have all the information, you're this doctor and you have the keys and all the information to what people should be doing, then surely you should have that outcome. And this is what I always say: how can you present yourself as this, scholar or professional at something that you have never experienced? And I say this all the time: we can have opinions, but opinions are not factual. It's just an opinion. But to have information that is considered to be factual, because if you're considering yourself a doctor, a psychologist, or something of that nature, then you have factual, proven science or, information or to back up your claims. So if you are presenting yourself as this expert, going all over talking about what high value men and high value women and what women need to do and what men need to do and all this stuff that they're talking about, you surely should have the example. You should be able to have the things that you're talking about, especially if you're going all over claiming that you are a professional at what you're saying and you know exactly what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? You would not trust going to a doctor who have no experience and don't have the information or the tools or the skill to do what they're doing. You would want to go to somebody who's skilled and who have, would you prefer a doctor who's only done one surgery on a person and that's it, versus one who's done hundreds of surgeries and been successful at all of them? You would prefer the one who has the experience in doing such a thing versus the person who doesn't. So even though you can put something on paper or present paperwork, where is the proof that you've actually experienced this, and where is the actual evidence of you attaining the things that you're telling other people that they can attain? So that's that. Let's continue.
Got her.
We dated for 5 years off and on.
So you was his work for 5 years? You been his work? You still his work?
Oh my God.
So Dr. Cheyenne Bryant is on the defensive, very much so. And she's doing it because she's stuttering. Paul Pierce basically asked about her relationship experience instead of talking about relationships in general. And she says that she's dating several people and she's been with a guy on and off for 5 years. And she used the term spinning the block, which basically means that this particular guy that she's been dealing with, she's been going back and forth with him. And she's also talked about, getting pregnant herself without being married, which is a complete contradiction to what she's been talking about when it comes to Cam Newton and guys like Nick Cannon.
Exactly. And that makes you a hypocrite, honestly. And to me, that's untrustworthy. You can't trust somebody who does not follow their own advice. That's what the hypocritical means. You're telling other people this is what they should do, and you're speaking from a person who has all of this information and you know what you're talking about, but then you're going against the very things that you're telling everybody else. That's what a hypocrite is. And I think there are a lot of people out there like that. I think you shouldn't be so staunch on something if you haven't experienced it. I think you have to have the experience and have to been, had that experience for such a while so that you know the ins and outs of it, that you can give really sound advice to others and that you don't contradict your own advice. Because then people will start to not listen to you or not take you seriously because you're not doing what you're telling others to do. And so, that's what I noticed with a lot of people who are on social, especially the women on social media. It's like they all tend to do that. It's like, and they all have the information. And when you so, direct and so you speak so much on these topics, and then when you're being asked about your relationships, it's non-existent from what we know of. You know what I mean? How can you actually really tell people what a marriage is if you've never been married? How can you really give a whole bunch of advice as an expert about certain things that you have never experienced? That's kind of, I could tell you, listen, I can't tell you about things that I haven't experienced. I can give you an idea or give you my opinion, but trying to consider yourself an expert in something that you haven't done is ludicrous to me. Let's continue.
So it's a complete hypocrisy. Down. And then Corey Holcomb came out and said this.
Paul Pierce is more street fortified than any of them seen her talking to on the internet. So he was like, hold on, wait. And he started talking to her like a motherfucker talk to a bitch, and she just hung herself because she didn't have an answer. She created an AI and lied on him, and he ain't never did nothing to her. She created an AI individual, this so-called dude that say exists. That dude don't exist, y'all.
Corey Holcomb says that she has an AI boyfriend, like the dude is not even real. And then he follows it up.
Got a history on the internet because she erased it. You don't see her coming up in school and doing all that. Lames don't think like that. You don't see back how she used to move. She erased it. She's an extortionist. She extort weak niggas for a living while put.
Got him! Basically, she's out here, looking on the you-know-what. And these claims indicate one thing. Dr. Cheyenne Bryant is a lesbian. Of course, there is always going to be hearsay, but this isn't a new rumor.
So, Dr. Cheyenne is a lesbian. I knew that anyway, judging by her entourage and people that, she had surrounding her. Oh, my bad, allegedly. But the message still remained the same. Y'all sit up there and listen to the pastor every day. Go to the church knowing that the pastor still like the same, fornicating, committing adultery,
okay.
Even like God. Little bitty. But that still don't stop y'all, does it?
So here's somebody saying, listen, she is a lesbian, and I can tell by the pictures that I've seen before. But the most troubling allegation came from Tasha K herself. And this is really bad. I'll tell you why. Because Corey Holcomb and Tasha K do not like each other, do not have kind words to say about each other. But on the case of Dr. Cheyenne Bryant,
a little backstory on Dr. Bryant. Well, Dr. Bryant, who y'all been praising for her ability to check men and I guess lead modern women into setting higher standards for themselves, is a gay woman and hasn't come out and told y'all that she's gay because it will ruin her brand. Because remember, Cam came at her and was like, are you married? She was like, no. Are you have any kids? No. How are you going to check me and try to tell me what's right when you don't like men at all? So, you have no business being in this conversation. And so she had a girlfriend that is best friends with Cam Newton. And the girlfriend, because Dr. Cheyenne had went to school for psychology from University of Phoenix, needed to somehow get her brand out there, but she could not do it being a fully lesbian woman, right? And so she had to pretend to like men, to be this expert for women who are looking for men, who are looking for marriage, when she didn't desire any of that. She was
damn. Now, I remember a little bit of Cam coming out after the interview he did of her, saying that there was some things he could have said and exposed because he didn't like the outcome of the interview. But I didn't know that this is what it was. And now I've heard some rumors about it. And, I don't know this lady personally, so I'm going to say allegedly, but I've been hearing people say this, and that would directly contradict what she's trying to push. And that would make sense as to why she's not married and she's not in a relationship with a man, allegedly, and she doesn't have any kids and she's 40 something years old, if she's shooting for the same team. That would make sense if that is the case. You know what I'm saying? Allegedly, if that's the case. And I don't have a problem with lesbians or gay people, but what I'm saying is this is the contradiction with people who are just trying to grift off of a certain, brand or talking point or whatever. This is what happens when you try to build your brand or build something off of a lie, off of something that is not truthful, when you're not living the life that you're preaching. When you're trying to sell something to people and you trying to be, you want to be a matter of fact, then you have to back up what you're preaching. You can't be a hypocrite. You can't tell people one thing and you're living a totally different life. That's the only thing. You can have an opinion if somebody asks you your opinion, but to come off as this specialist, as this, this person of standard, have a certain standard and a moral ground that you're pushing, and then you're checking other people on it. You have to stand on business yourself. You have to have what you're telling other people they need to get or what they need to do. You can't, and there's a lot of people that contradict what they're saying by their lifestyle, and they don't want you to know because they know that it'll completely destroy their brand. Because once you've been exposed like that, people don't believe in you anymore. How could you tell me what I should be doing when you're this? You know what I'm saying? You're XYZ. So that would definitely go against everything that she's saying. That's crazy, but let's continue.
It's basically just trying to build her brand and public image.
Tasha K will go on to say that Dr. Cheyenne Bryant's girlfriend was close friends with Cam Newton, and her girlfriend is definitely a lesbian. And so she got Dr. Cheyenne Bryant on the show with Cam Newton, but Cam Newton had no idea that Dr. Cheyenne Bryant was going to be such a difficult host and, basically attacking him and his credibility. And because of Dr. Cheyenne Bryant's, kind of brute force, aggressive interview style, or, putting a lot of pressure on him, he and the lady fell out because Cam Newton found out, according to Tasha K, that Dr. Cheyenne Bryant was in a gay relationship, and Cam Newton felt that because she wasn't even, married or had a long-term girlfriend or ever had kids, she was in no moral position to talk about him. And so once he found out about the real truth of her sexuality, he then ended the friendship with Dr. Cheyenne Bryant's girlfriend because he felt that Dr. Cheyenne Bryant and her girlfriend were acting in bad faith. At one point, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant has come out to challenge these claims.
The pink elephant in the room.
Listen, y'all, I have often been accused of being a queer, a lesbian, and having a fine woman hiding in the closet. But I'm also a strong Christian and I know my Bible well, okay? But as a heterosexual woman, straight woman, how can I answer that question, y'all, and be strong in my opinion without being accused of being homophobic?
So here we have Dr. Cheyenne Bryant on a LGBTQ panel saying that she's not gay. And she references the word of God, okay? I know my Bible. So on this particular Fox Soul episode, they were talking about gays in the church or something like that. So she's telling them, listen, I could not be gay. I am a Christian. The Bible is against homosexuality. So basically she's throwing the LGBTQ community underneath the bus because she could never be that because she is a Christian. But again, people on social media are really good with their inspections. And this is what happened on Media Takeout. Now, apparently Dr. Cheyenne Bryant got her nails done. All right, nothing bad about that. And if we can look at the picture here, this is Dr. Cheyenne Bryant on a story. Oakland we go. Oakland we on the way, baby. Hashtag go birds. And you can see that's Dr. Cheyenne Bryant's fingernails, okay? Nails, whatever. You know, very nice nails, okay? Then those same nails, if we could put it side by side, is her having dinner with somebody, okay? And the lady that she's having dinner with is Ty Young. Now, Ty Young is a ex-WNBA player, now social media content creator, who was completely out in the closet, and then this lady is completely gay. Okay, now this is Dr. Cheyenne Bryant at Ty's birthday celebration, and it does look like an intimate dinner for two. So is this a coincidence? I mean, it could be a coincidence. To be honest, it could be a coincidence. And the reason why is because, hey, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant is popular. She's known. She may be good friends with Ty Young, but hey, it's no problem. It could be the case. But the next thing is something different, okay? If you can look at Ty Young, here is, you know, the Instagram post, her and two others. She's in a black shirt and she has this tie chain, okay? No problem. Then let's look at Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. Dr. Cheyenne Bryant has on the same chain, but it's flipped backwards so that you really can't see what it is. But if you flip that chain, it is, you guessed it, Ty. In other words, I'm repping her chain. I'm in a relationship with her, and clearly that's what this means. So Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, indeed, in my honest opinion, is in a relationship with this lesbian woman.
Baby, listen. Oh my God. You know, listen, once again, I will say, listen, whoever this lady is sleeping with is none of my business. But I think it would be the business of the people who are patronizing what she's saying, or the people who are, you know, listening and soaking up what she's putting out, or people who are following her, or, you know, supporting her brand. Those are the people who will be concerned about that. And I'm sure, because if you're trying to tell women how to be high value women or level up and how to get a high value man and what that looks like and all this, and you don't have a man, you don't have a high value man, you're not trying to get one. If that's the case, if you're shooting for the same team and you got a woman, like, how is that going to help these women? How is the information that you're giving them going to help them if it's not even helping you? Oh my God. And if that's not even what you're looking for, you get what I'm saying? Men and women are different. So I would assume that it would take a certain set of rules or, you know, guidelines that you should follow to try to go get a man versus what it would take to get a woman, because what women and men are looking for is different, I would assume. So yeah, it's a huge contradiction if is the case. And I just think that the people who patronize her brand and what she's pushing should be concerned about that, or would be concerned about that, you know. And on top of that, if she's saying she's a Christian woman and she's heterosexual and she has no interest in women, then and if that's not true, that definitely contradicts what she's pushing out there. So yeah, the fact that Cam and her kind of fell out over that interview, it said a lot. It said a lot that some people, you know, behind the scenes may be a privy to a lot more than what us, you know, on the outside looking in are privy to. But you know, where there's smoke, there's fire. I always say, you know, there's always something going on. And somehow it always comes to the light. What's done in the dark will come to the light. It always comes to the light and make you aware of what people are doing. Now, some people don't care. Some people get so, you know, sucked in, they really don't care at that point. They're just going to follow you blindly and whatever. If they don't get what they're looking for based off what you're telling them, they don't care because they're that sucked in and that, you know, amazed with you. And there's just, you know, followers. Then you'll still have those people. But at the same time, you know, you have to pay attention to who you allow to lead you. You have to pay attention to who you're listening to and what information you take in, because if it's not beneficial to you, clearly if it's not working for them, how is it going to work for you? That's just my thoughts on it. But listen, y'all let me know. Shout out to O'Shea once again. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below this video. What do you think about Dr. Cheyenne Bryant? Do you think there's some truth to this? Do you think it's all BS? What's your thoughts? I want to hear from you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.